The other big race in the city of Portland is between Commissioner Dan Ryan and his main challenger, AJ McCreary. They debated over Zoom as well earlier this week and have very different positions on police and homelessness. First, some quick background. Dan Ryan was elected 20 months ago. Before that, from 2008 until 2019, he was CEO of a group called All Hands Raised, which helped guide 6 different school districts. He was diagnosed with AIDS back in 1995, but said new medicines gave him a new lease on life. AJ McCreary describes herself as a single parent, light-skinned black woman, community organizer, artist, renter, non-driver, and problem solver. Each was asked about police and whether Portland needs more. Their answers brought those stark differences. Here they are back to back, with Ryan going first.
I'm excited that with the DOJ negotiations, we will have a dean of training that will be a civilian dean of training. That's definitely a step in the right direction. Body-worn cameras will be implemented into the budget, where we will not allow the police to look at it before they write the report, but we'll have the transparency that Portlanders have been asking for. And so those are just a couple of the reforms that I'm really grateful for. I also like that in the police negotiations, we now have a really concrete, clear discipline guide. And so we're building transparency and we're building morale. Quite frankly, we have to recruit more police, but they can be police that are more like social workers. I look forward to the increase of peace officers on our streets.
My first response to the question is absolutely no. I think it's really important for us to look at, again, data. If we want a different experience, we need to do things differently.
And I'm sorry, you mean no, that we don't need more police officers on the street?
No to more police. Police are not keeping us safe. Police have a rooted history in white supremacy and harm. They were created to keep people enslaved. We cannot reform that experience. We can grow out of that. Investing in the Portland street response is critical, definitely having body cameras, but we cannot expect police to be solving the problems. We need to actually get to the root of the issues.
They were also asked about solutions for the homeless crisis and whether they favored short-term shelters or longer-term affordable housing. We'll have McCreary go first this time.
I'm really here for some long-term solutions. Currently, the reason why we have this crisis growing in the way that it is because we just keep moving short-term solution to short-term solution, moving houseless folks from being houseless outside to another different kind of houseless outside is inhumane and wrong. It's also a big waste of dollars. I know that our community at large would like to have a different experience, and we are a compassionate community and would like to see people taken care of. And so we really need to be looking at the income inequalities. We need to be looking at getting people into long-term solutions. We need to be thinking about home ownership. Shelters don't address any root issues. It just moves it from one place to the other.
And sure, there are so many people that can move quickly into housing. And then there's others who are on our streets who are suffering from dual addiction, like my brother. And we just happen to live in the state with the highest number of untreated addicts with the lowest number of treatment centers. And so I hope in the gubernatorial races continues to be a big issue, because being in last place for behavioral health and for mental health systems is not a winning combination. I know everyone that's on the street is not a dual diagnosis, but I do think that there are more than we admit. And I do think that the fact that Portland has drawn people actually to live here because we fortunately tolerate the intolerable with an open air drug market. And the new drugs are really harsh and very dangerous. I know this from talking to people on the streets.
So Ryan there favors shorter term services, McCreary into longer term affordable housing. Who's right? I don't know. I want to hear from you. Anything you loved or hated about any of those candidates you've just heard from? Start firing off your emails. I look forward to reading them, and I'll respond to as many as I can tonight. Our email address, by the way, is thestory@kgw.com, or call and leave a voicemail, 503-226-5090. All the city's voters will ultimately decide who they want in Portland's primary. That'll be May 17th. And as a reminder, these city council races are runoffs, which means if one candidate gets 50%, they win. If no one does, the top 2 candidates go on to the November election.